for more on what happens now with the GOP. We'll welcome in Jon Seaton. He's a Republican strategist and former political operative for presidential campaigns for Lindsey Graham, John McCain, and George W. Bush. Mr. Seaton, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me this morning.
So how long do you believe it will take to determine a winner in these remaining races? Is it going to be all month?
Well, in Arizona specifically, I expect that the counting will largely be done in the next 48 hours or so. The biggest batch left is in Maricopa County. There's about 75,000 votes left to count there, maybe a few more when you include provisional ballots. But those will be done in the next couple of days. There's one other large county in Arizona, Pima County. Those will be done also this week, and we'll know not just who won the statewide races, governor, attorney general, et cetera, but who controls the state legislature, which right now it looks like Republicans are poised to hold both chambers.
When it comes to strategies here, casting doubt on the 2020 election and potentially this 2022 election that we're still going through, it didn't seem to work. A lot of the candidates that did it the most, and I'm thinking of Kari Lake here, though her race has not been called, they seem to have not succeeded. So what do you make of that?
Well, it's been nice to see so far candidates on both sides of the aisle, once the races are called, once it's clear that the votes have been counted, that the votes do count, and that concessions have been offered, and we've been able to move forward. So I'm hopeful that no matter what happens over the next 24 or 48 hours in Arizona, that we do get a clear winner, and that either Governor Hobbs or Governor Lake are able to move forward and govern the state.
And the former president, Donald Trump, he is still maintaining 2 years later that that election was stolen from him, despite evidence to the contrary. He's set for a big announcement on Tuesday. Is this the right time for him for a big announcement?
I'm not going to advise the former president on the right time for him to announce. Look, he still has a tremendous amount of support within the Republican Party. And I think he sees the same numbers that all of us see. He sees that he still is strongly supported by a huge number of grassroots Republicans. And he's doesn't seem to be one to wait for the perfect moment. He's going to go when he's ready. And it sounds like he's ready to go on Tuesday.
Sounds like he's ready to go. What do you think the party's reaction will be to that announcement?
Well, I think you're going to see, kind of like the lead in here. A lot of Republicans are still very enthusiastic about the former president. There are those who are ready to, as you said, turn the page and look at some other options. I do expect it to be a robust primary season, and very interested to see who else gets into the ring.
Let's talk about the Senate now, the leadership position there. Mitch McConnell has been called into question by Donald Trump himself. I think Rick Scott was saying maybe it's my time and maybe it's time to take over for Mitch. But then the election didn't quite go the way a lot of Republicans had hoped it would, or every Republican had hoped it would, and a lot of the Republicans had thought it would. So what happens with the Senate minority lead now that we know the Republicans will be in minority? Will it remain Mitch McConnell, or will we be seeing a change of horses?
Leader McConnell still has a great deal of support within the Republican conference in the United States Senate. So I expect he'll be reelected as leader. Look, Leader McConnell spent between his super PAC about $250 million supporting Republican candidates. He did have some successes. He's been an extremely consequential leader within the party. So I expect that despite some naysayers, he's going to be reelected as leader and will continue to steer the ship of the Republican conference.
Now, what about in the House? Because Kevin McCarthy came out on election night and said, we have won the House. And it seems like that was maybe a little bit premature, even though it still might happen. There still is a chance the Democrats maintain control of that chamber. So does Kevin McCarthy still have support in the House to be the Speaker of the House one day? Or is there a potential leadership change there?
I think he does. He has done a great job traveling around the country, campaigning for Republican candidates. And so I do expect that he will be elected speaker. I think he's going to have a very difficult job ahead. He's going to have a very narrow majority if he does, in fact, hold the majority. And so he's going to have to work very hard to take advantage of the strong relationships that he's built throughout the conference. But he's an outstanding fundraiser. He worked very hard for Republican candidates all across the country for the last not just 2 years, but many years. And so I think he's got some goodwill within the conference, and I expect that he'll win the speaker's vote and will be the next speaker.
So thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.